why NMIXX is the most complete group in K-pop. Talk to me.
Vocal.
After all of the darkness and sadness, still comes happiness.
Dance.
They're sucking on my with no teeth. Press, 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 press. Cardi don't need more press.
Versatility.
No, look at me, with eyes so dark, don't know how you even see. When you push like them, push right your name.
Behind all the criticism and noise, one thing's undeniable. This group is the definition of an all-rounder. And that group is NMIXX. Expectations were sky high when JYP Entertainment announced their next girl group. Twice had dominated the third generation with iconic hits and record-breaking sales. ITZY carried that torch into the fourth, known for their fearless energy and explosive performances. Whatever came next had to live up to that legacy. On the 22nd of February 2022, NMIXX stepped into the spotlight with OO, and the K-pop world had no idea what hit them. Their debut track split opinions instantly. It switched genres mid-song, jumping from sweet melodies to aggressive beats without warning. JYP called it mix pop, their new signature sound that blended multiple genres in one song. Some listeners loved the boldness.
Some did.
Others called it chaotic, confusing, too experimental for a debut. But here's what people missed while debating the song structure. The performance was flawless. 7 girls hitting every note live, nailing every move, and delivering every rap line with ease. Lily's vocals soared through difficult high notes. Haewon balanced sweetness with power. Suhyun turned heads with her visuals and stage presence. Jeannie moved with fluid grace. Bae brought fierce energy. Jiwoo combined sharp rap delivery with effortless dance. And Kyujin, the youngest, stood shoulder to shoulder with them all. The choreography demanded technical skill. The vocal lines required serious training. The rap sections needed sharp delivery. NMIXX handled all of it without breaking a sweat. While critics focused on whether they liked the genre mixing concept, NMIXX had already proven something more important: they could execute anything thrown at them. The question became whether the industry was ready for a group that refused to pick just one lane. September 2022 brought Dice, and the split reactions continued. The song doubled down on mix pop, blending even more genres and taking bigger risks with its structure. But the results were mixed. NMIXX still hadn't clicked with the general public, and some wondered if the sound was just a little too different for most listeners. But something else was happening beneath the surface. Their live stages kept going viral. Encores showed vocals most groups couldn't match. Dance practices revealed synchronization so sharp it looked unreal. People started noticing that NMIXX could actually do everything. The problem was, not everyone was looking closely enough. Then the 9th of December 2022 hit, and everything changed. JYP announced that Jeannie would be leaving the group. No detailed explanation, just the sudden shift from 7 members to 6. The timing felt brutal. Just as NMIXX was finding their footing, they had to reorganize completely. Formations had to be redesigned, parts had to be reassigned, and the group's entire dynamic needed rebuilding. For most, that kind of shakeup could have ended everything, but NMIXX kept going. They regrouped fast, adjusted their harmonies, refined their performances, and carried on with focus. The remaining 6 girls grew closer through it all, proving that even with one less member, they could still hold their ground and deliver as strong as ever. As 6, NMIXX turned 2023 into the year they finally showed their full range. March brought
Young, dumb, stupid, God who cares,
and it caught people off guard. The song combined hip-hop with a children's song style, sampling a classic nursery rhyme. This different and less aggressive type of mix pop divided listeners. Many found the interpolation of the nursery rhyme random or childish, while others found it creative and addictive. The overall reaction
I think more than anything, done it. I think the slight change there, and the fact that they leaned into the vibes that comes like with the child part makes it catchier, but it's also a really big risk because it's kind of jarring in its own way. Like yes, it reminds you of like childlike themes and everything, but unless the majority of your fans are, really really young, it's hard to really push that angle. I have to give it to them though because they've definitely found their footing, but it's just interesting to see like how much pushback they definitely would have had to experience along the way because what they did is jarring. Like even when I did my first initial reaction, right? It took me a minute to get ready for it. Like I was mentally trying to process it the whole time. And then when I finally settled in, I was like, okay, I'm here. I understand it now. It makes sense. I'm present. But that adjustment period for some people is just too much. And that's completely understandable. That's completely valid. Oh, you said that one didn't go well? See?
showed NMIXX could experiment in unexpected directions. Then came March 20 with marking the start of a real shift in public perception. The track kept mixed pop elements but made them more accessible. The genre transitions felt smoother, the hooks catchier, the energy more focused. People who once dismissed NMIXX suddenly found themselves replaying the song. They earned their first music show win. The charts responded better. Most importantly, the vocals in Love Me Like This went viral across social media, hitting those high notes live, maintaining stability during intense choreography, proving that their technical ability matched their ambition. The song became the major turning point for NMIXX. July brought Party O'Clock, showing NMIXX could handle bright, summery concepts with the same confidence they brought to harder-hitting tracks. The song radiated fun energy while still showcasing their vocal and dance skills. December brought Sonar Breaker, pulling NMIXX back toward experimental territory. It blended Latin-style hip-hop and UK garage within their signature mix pop sound. Unlike earlier releases that felt abrupt to some, this one flowed more seamlessly. Fans embraced the return to bold production, showing they'd grown to trust NMIXX's artistic direction. Each comeback proved a simple point. NMIXX could pull off any genre, any concept, any vibe. Their B-sides backed it up. Roller Coaster showed vocal control, Run for Roses highlighted harmonization, and Cool Your Rainbow revealed their touch with emotional ballads. The narrative around NMIXX began to shift, from being seen as doing too much to being recognized for doing everything. The group that critics called chaotic was becoming the group that fans called complete. January 2024 opened with and the confidence boost was obvious. The song hit with high energy and sharp execution. NMIXX sounded more comfortable in their style, more assured in their abilities. The choreography was even more challenging, but they handled it effortlessly, and the charts responded better than ever. August brought continuing their momentum. The track blended old-school hip-hop and country genres within the mix pop framework, creating a grittier, more distinct tone that showed their willingness to experiment. Public reception kept improving, proving that audiences were finally catching up to what NMIXX had been showing all along. But their cover performances showed what their usual sound couldn't show. NMIXX started dropping covers that made people stop and reconsider everything they thought they knew about the group. On their YouTube channel and at award shows or festivals, they showcased pure skill, strong vocal covers highlighting each member's range, dance performances that hit every move, and stages that adapted smoothly to different moods and genres. They tackled ballads with emotional depth, hip-hop with sharp rap delivery, and performance-heavy songs with synchronization that rivaled the originals, proving they could step into any artist's shoes and make it work. Each cover performance answered a different question about their capabilities. Can they handle different choreography styles? Yes. Can they adapt vocally to different genres? Absolutely. Can each member carry a performance individually? Without question. By late 2024, the verdict was clear. NMIXX was one of the most technically skilled groups in the fourth generation. Every member could sing, dance, and perform with stage presence. There were no weak links. Their covers had done what original releases sometimes took time to show, proving to casual audiences and critics that this group could execute anything.
No, this definitely sounds like they're trying to sell us something. I think the other thing is the fact that he sounds very monotone. I was trying to decide whether or not he sounded like whether it sounded like it's AI, and I decided that I think it does. At first, I thought he was just really good at keeping his voice monotone, but some points where there should be a little bit more inflection in his voice, I'm not hearing it, and I think that's also definitely leaning towards it. The information has been good though, so I'm biting the bullet on it.
Adapt to any style and make it look effortless. The all-rounder label stuck, and this time, it meant something real. 2025 arrived, with NMIXX operating at peak confidence. March 17 brought,
Let me show you that no other man.
and the maturity
The
jump
info's
was
definitely the biggest part.
undeniable. The song carried the same experimental DNA that defined NMIXX, but everything felt sharper, more refined. Their vocals hit with more power. Their performance energy reached new levels. The choreography pushed boundaries while staying sharp and precise, just like fans had come to expect. Charts responded immediately. Public reception was stronger than any previous comeback. Know About Me showed that NMIXX had fully grown into their sound. They could be experimental without alienating listeners, technical without seeming cold, confident without losing their charm. But the bigger moment came with their first full album. The pre-release Spinnin' on It dropped on October 3, building anticipation through its infectious energy and showcasing their evolved sound. The B-side became an instant fan favorite, demonstrating that NMIXX's album cuts carried the same weight as their title tracks. The 13th of October 2025 marked the release
You always be my
NMIXX's first full-length album with the title track of the same name. The song kept their mix pop identity, but added a more mature sound and refined vocal arrangements. The album gave them room to explore different styles across multiple tracks, showing that their versatility went beyond single releases. Each song reinforced who they were while experimenting with new sounds. JYP promoted the comeback with a detailed schedule, bold concept photos, and even a webtoon that expanded the album's story. The hype built naturally as fans recognized NMIXX had reached a new level entirely. JYP's confidence in the group was clear. Their all-rounder abilities made them a unique package, and NMIXX delivered exactly what the industry had been waiting for, a group that could do it all without compromise. By this point, does anyone still think NMIXX is just a chaotic group? That narrative flipped into something else entirely. Perfection. They
I'm
can
not gonna lie, that 180 though is definitely a really nice thing, honestly. Because in the beginning they were such they I don't want to say they like just directly opposed everything that was normal and considered regular, but in a way they kind of did. So to see that they were able to just kind of like morph just a little bit, tighten things up on their end, and find a middle ground where they could be incredibly expressive, and people that, you know, previously thought they were just doing too much or they were all over the place, or as they said in the video, chaotic, you know, seeing that the opinion has changed and people are accepting them for their creativity instead of criticizing them for it is actually like a really cool thing.
sing,
This is a really cool
rap,
caveat.
dance, and perform any genre with equal skill. They can handle experimental production and mainstream appeal. They can adapt to any concept while maintaining their identity. They can cover other artists and make it their own. They can lose a member and come back stronger. The industry tried to put them in a box with mix pop, but they showed they were bigger than any single sound. 7 members became 6, and that only made their bond tighter and their performances sharper. NMIXX reminded K-pop that real talent is being able to do it all. 6 girls who refused to choose just one lane, who took the hardest path and made it look effortless, who proved that being great at everything beats being good at one thing. Mixed pop blends genres into one sound, and only NMIXX can pull it off, because they're built the same way. Every talent stitched perfectly into one group. NMIXX dared to be bold. Will you?
Yeah, this was definitely AI. That will you. It was the perfect line. The delivery fell flat. I did like this video though. It was, and the information was accurate from my understanding thus far. It's just really interesting when I see, the biggest thing I look for in these videos is like when they tell me like where they really popped off at, and then what type of problems they faced on the way up. Those are the biggest things that I like to focus on, because obviously me being new to them, it's important that I do know that know these different things about them. But yeah.